Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we are diving into one of the world's most incredible texts, the Bhagavad Gita. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Dense, ancient scripture, right? But I want you to forget all that. Think of this as a user's manual, a super practical guide for navigating the absolute toughest challenges life can throw at you.
So let me start with a question for you. Have you ever been in a situation where the one thing you had to do, the path you were supposed to take, just felt impossible? Like you were completely paralyzed with no idea how to move forward. Just hold on to that feeling for a second, because that is exactly where our story begins.
You see, this epic conversation doesn't kick off in some quiet temple or a peaceful classroom. Nope, it begins right in the middle of a crisis, on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, moments before a massive war is about to erupt. We're talking chaos, conflict, and just immense pressure from the get-go.
And right at the very heart of all that chaos is one man's ultimate dilemma. This is our hero's moment of crisis, and it sets the stage for the entire profound conversation that's about to unfold.
So, meet Prince Arjuna. He's the greatest warrior of his time, an absolute master archer. But as he looks across the battlefield, he doesn't just see an army. He sees his cousins, his best friends, the teachers he grew up respecting. His duty, his whole life's training, screams at him to fight. But his heart? It's telling him this is deeply wrong. He is completely and utterly frozen by grief and confusion.
And it's in this moment of just total despair, when he's literally ready to drop his weapons and give up, that he turns to his charioteer and trusted guide, Lord Krishna. It's this breakdown, this crisis, that opens the door to one of the most powerful teachings on life and purpose ever recorded.
So what does Krishna say to a man in total crisis? Well, he introduces this foundational idea, a concept called karma yoga, and this is, without a doubt, the most famous and practical teaching in the entire Gita.
Okay, so what is karma yoga? Simply put, it's the art of selfless action. Krishna gives Arjuna this completely radical way of looking at his duty. He basically says, look, you have total control over your actions, your effort, but you have zero control over the results, the fruits of those actions. And here it is, the core instruction, laid out with such amazing clarity. You have the right to perform your duty, but not to the fruits of action. I mean, wow, this one idea is a total game changer for how we deal with stress and anxiety about the future. Let's break down what that actually means in practice.
It really boils down to this simple two-step process. First, you pour every ounce of your energy and focus into the task in front of you. Do your absolute best work. And second, and yeah, this is the really hard part, you have to completely let go of what happens next. Whether you win or lose, get that promotion or not, receive praise or criticism, that's not your concern. Your only job is the action itself.
So what do you think happens when you actually start living this way? Well, the effect it has on your mind is just profound. This path of selfless action leads directly to what we all crave: inner peace.
The Gita uses this beautiful metaphor to explain it. It says that a peaceful mind is like a vast ocean. You have all these rivers of desires, wants, fears, ambitions constantly flowing into it. But the ocean, it remains completely undisturbed and calm. It takes in the rivers, but it isn't fundamentally changed by them. So you see, there are really two clear paths for the mind. On one path, you're constantly chasing desires, trying to satisfy every impulse. The Gita is very clear. This road always leads to frustration and anxiety, because desires are, by their very nature, endless. But on the other path, by just observing those desires without needing to act on every single one, you find contentment and stability. You find peace right where you are.
Okay, so all this talk about inner peace is great, but you might be wondering, what about success in the real world? In my career, in my goals? Well, what's so amazing is that the Gita doesn't just offer tranquility, it actually gives us a powerful formula for achievement.
Towards the end of the conversation, there's this incredible verse that is basically a guarantee for victory. It says that wherever you find Krishna, who represents divine wisdom or higher purpose, and you find Arjuna, who represents supreme skill and action, success is absolutely certain.
So let's translate that into a modern formula, because this is so crucial. To get real, lasting success, you need both pieces. You need skillful action, that's Arjuna, being amazing at what you do, but you also need to connect that action to divine consciousness. That's Krishna, a purpose that's bigger than just you. When you combine your best effort with a higher purpose, Well, the Gita says victory is guaranteed.
And this all brings us to the final, and maybe the most important insight of the entire text. You see, we started this whole story on a physical battlefield, filled with armies and chariots. But that's not where the real war is actually being fought.
Krishna makes this crystal clear with this verse. He tells Arjuna, flat out, that your own mind can be your greatest friend, lifting you up to amazing heights. Or it can be your absolute worst enemy, dragging you down into despair. And the choice of which one it becomes, that's entirely up to you.
And that, right there, is the ultimate lesson of the Bhagavad Gita. The struggle that Arjuna was facing on that physical battlefield, well, it's really just a giant metaphor for the battle we all fight every single day inside our own minds. It's the battle between our fears and our courage, our confusion and our clarity, our selfish instincts and our higher purpose. Winning that internal battle, that's the only victory that truly matters.
So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with this one question to think about. When you consider these timeless ideas of selfless action, of finding inner peace, of self-mastery, take an honest look inside. Who is winning the battle in your mind? Your greatest friend or your greatest enemy?